welcome back. We're just chit-chatting about a few things. But let's bring in Adeni Fataya. Mr. Adeni, welcome to the program.
Yes.
Let me look through. I want to look through. Okay.
Thank you.
I wanted to be sure that was part of what we have. But let's get through to the Nigerian News Direct, which is what we started off from. Tinubu bans creation of new federal private universities for 7 years. Oh, I didn't even know private were part of it.
I never knew.
Okay. As Minister laments poor quality of infrastructure, most improved quality of education. So question is, now that I'm seeing that there's private university, I don't know whether you can do that. Okay. So, of course, you get approval from the federal government for you to establish. But what do you make of this decision? Good? Timely? Or what exactly is it?
I would say it's timely because so many people, especially the private individual, they want to have the name, I own a university, no infrastructure on ground, sometimes even public university, you heard that federal government, they are hoeing and all of that. And some of these, there's what they call BYI, that bring your own infrastructure, and they put the burden on the student, who are there because some lecturer, they are poor remunerated. They began to sell, what's it called, handouts now, or if you don't buy, you use it to get a mark and all of that. So it has polarized our education system, and like they said, education is the best legacy. So if you are not giving it our best, I don't think shunning out a new university will be the way forward, and not just infrastructural development, human capacity development, train the trainer, because a lecturer who is not well remunerated, I'm not sure is going to give his or 100%, to these the people we call our future's leader. So I think it's timely, but not just to ban them. What are you doing to improve the one on ground, especially the public university? I just said now that private institution too, they are also involved. Yeah, there are some guidelines. How much are you going to be investing or putting into this system, maybe every year or biannual or once in 3 years? There's a specific amount of money you must spend or train and all of that. So I think all those things should be put in place, not just let's stop giving approval for establishing new university.
And, I can't resist it, Mr. Ifetara. Before we go to the other paper, at the bottom of Nigerian News Direct, there's a trail on part of our conversation this morning, which is our question of the day. Mixed reactions as NCA withdraws charge against Kwam-1. Emerson names Kwam-1 ambassador, and of course that has drawn a flurry of reactions as part of the continuing concern that this is apart from selective justice, but also selective discriminatory handling of the matter. But shouldn't the system also look back at itself if we consider the consequence of what has happened from the rewards that has gone the way of Ms. Comfort Emerson herself, automatic employment in Delta State, a role in a Nollywood movie? Isn't this a product of a broken, not just a broken political culture, but socioeconomic, socio-cultural system as well?
Yes, I believe 100%. The way we reward some maybe unruly behavior or something that happens, somebody should be questioned or face the consequence. Just like you commit the crime, you face the time or the consequence. So it's just the way the federal government handle the whole scenario is not cool. I said it on Monday that don't be surprised if you check the clips. I said Kwam-1 is going to be made a kind of brand ambassador because maybe he has somebody to call to speak on his behalf and comfort on his own side, because federal government hands are tied because someone had committed something, like into that. But what I would have expected the federal governments to do is to continue with the case instead of dropping the charges. Let them face the music so that it will serve as a deterrent. So now it's just creating that we have a double standard in administering justice in our society. One, if you are well connected, you can call someone. There's a way you'll be treated. And the other one, if you are not well connected, there's a way you'll be treated. But it's just pity that Nigerians that rose up in defense of comfort, they are even the one that are saying, come, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. That shouldn't be celebrated. Let's call a spade a spade.
Let's go to the Nigerian, the New Telegraph now, and the New Telegraph chooses to, report the polity as far as politics is concerned. The New Telegraph, the big story here says 2027, PDP demands absolute loyalty from Wike or Tom, Fayose, others, and says those planning to leave may be going on voyage of no discovery. APC tackles Aregbesola over ADC membership drive in Lagos. So is this, this ADC drive, is it unsettling the ruling party and the opposition party?
Of course, but to me, I'm not sure PDP are ready. If someone is a storm, in your water or in your river, I think the best thing is to ease such an individual out. So still massaging their ego, you need them. They've done, don't let me say, allegedly, they've done harm, done good for PDP especially. So why do you continue to massage or pat them at the back? If you are serious with what is coming in 2027, of course, the coalition ADC is beginning, both the opposition and the ruling party is beginning to unsettling them. You can, just like you mentioned, they are calling Aregbesola to order, and I'm sure he's old enough to make up his mind what he wants to do. He has been a governor, he has been a minister, he was once a commissioner, so what are we talking about? So he knows what he wants. So let everybody choose what they want to do, where, thank God, is enshrined in our constitution, freedom of association, or whether you want to belong to this and that. So let's see how it plays out, but I felt that PDP, they are not ready yet.
I totally agree with you. So personally, when I hear PDP make strong statements, I don't take it serious. We will deal with you, deal with them, let's see. We will not tolerate, let's see. Now they're saying, come on, man, take action, else you're just wasting everybody's time. The Guardian, FG to overhaul public finance as bills for more varsities risks rejection. FG to overhaul public finance as bills for more varsities risks rejection. That's on the page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And you can see all the persons that have the powers to make the moves, from the president to the finance minister to the education minister to the leadership of the National Assembly, talking about these issues about overhauling finances as bill for more investment risks. So what do you make? I know we've spoken about it in the other papers, but this is the reason why we need to re-highlight this is because they say education is the backbone, it's the cornerstone of any society.
Yeah.
In fact, lack of education, poorly educated people are easily manipulated. So what do you make of this?
Two things for me. If every year we do have a budget for this ministry, that ministry, especially for education ministry. So what I felt that the federal government should have be doing now is to set up an a private or independent panel to be looking at how much have we expended, especially in public university. As the money released, has it been used? What are the measures? We say we are going to build this infrastructure. What level has it gone to? How much has been released so far? Where is that money going to? I was having a chat with someone yesterday that said they will collect. We were talking about, was it last week? The doctor that the federal government said we are going to pay you your 6-month arrears, that somebody will have that money, put it in a fixed deposit, yielding interest. So where did money go to? Who is doing what? Those are the things I felt that if they want to be transparent when it comes to financing education infrastructure. So those are the areas that they should look at. What are they putting more? I think I'm not sure now the percentage that education sector had in the 2025 budget. I think if they can up it a bit and put more training into it, there can be an exchange program. 100 of our, during break, during summer, like the 100 of our lecturer or head of department, they are going for training in India, or instead of spending so much, bring those people, because it will reduce cost. When you are talking about the ESTA code and all of that, bring them here, let them exchange idea, and so that they'll be prepared for when the new session resumes. So those are the areas they should look into and be transparent when it comes to release on fund.
Yeah, that's looking at it holistically. What happens to those structures of those new universities if they have already been established? So let's go to the Nigerian, this Nigeria. It doubles down, of course, on the concern raised by the federal government through the Minister of Education yesterday. But let's look at the top of the nameplate, just beside the nameplate of this Nigeria. Economic reforms. President targets 7% growth rate by 2027. It's a page 5 read, by the way. But, well, Mr. Fetayo, how realistic is this economic growth rate target when you consider concerns that, you know, for 2024 budget, there hasn't been 100% budget performance recorded so far, and you heard the governor of Bauchi State saying the other day that even for 2025 budget, funds have not been released, that there is no economic activity. So is this realistic in the light of the circumstances?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There's an adage in Yoruba land. Let me say it in Yoruba. I'll try to interpret it. Yes, if I promise to give you something good, something fantastic, at least you need to look at me if I'm worth of doing that. So if you said you are talking about 7%, 2024 budget has not been 100% implemented, and 2025, the governor of Bauchi State, who is one of the critical stakeholders when it comes to budget implementation, because he has a state to govern, is saying that even money has not been released and all of that, and you are telling me you are going to build a castle in the air for me, is unrealistic. I believe that for you to say this, they should come up with a number. Oh, when we came in on board, it was 1%. From that 2023 to 2024, we've been able to do ABC, is now 2%. Going by this number, we believe in 2025 or 2026 election year, we are going, then you are talking not just to promise, just like you are going for campaign.
All right, so let's go to the Vanguard newspaper. I wanted to stay on that bit, but we'll leave that, because when you talk about productivity, we have to look at productivity to be able to know whether this it's great to be ambitious.
Yes,
but ambition is, we're doing 3 point something now. If you analyze last year, about 3 point something, we're projecting 3 point or 3.4 this year. Let's see what plays out next year. So 2027, I don't know what they are looking at, but you have to look at technology in terms of scalability of the people themselves and infrastructure, especially power. Those are fundamentals to drive productivity and growth in this sense. But Vanguard newspaper, Kwam-1 comfort Bob. I almost say Kwam-B. Forgive me. It's because that influenced me. Kwam-1 comfort Bob. Lawyers, aviation experts blast FG. The riders say due process not followed in resolving incidents. Accuse Keyamo of interference with NCCA affairs. Comfort freed. Kwam-1's ban cut to 1 month. Axibom Air to withdraw case against her. Life no-fly ban lifted. Directs NCAA to withdraw criminal case against Kwam-1. Regulatory agency to release licenses of value jet pilots after 1 month. So this is going to be a talking point. As I said, the minister has identified dramatic personnel and reprimand. I believe as well, without defending him, that if the airport authority had done their work well, he doesn't have a business intervening at all. Because when you are over-respecting Kwam-1, who was reckless, irresponsible in his behavior at that time, putting himself in danger, and everybody that was stopping him in danger, if you had simply bundled him, charged him and all of that, this man may not, because until he spoke, that things started moving in that sense and all of that. That's why he was very fierce as well. See the airport incident with the Bob, also reckless, irresponsible behavior by the lady, no matter what you were provoked at, although it's very unacceptable to have exposed that the way they exposed that. But she was also really assaulting people on the craft, down, inside the bus. You see the way they were swift as well. So do you think that you will really blame the man for intervening when the people that are supposed to act were just not acting the way they should act?
Not really. You know, sometimes they will say we are waiting for God at the top. You know, when you don't know your duty, that and if it involves an individual who is well connected or famous, and calls, I'm sure calls would have been flying up and down and all of that. But I felt that usurping the duties of those who are under your ministry is not telling well, because NCA is supposed to do their job and, excuse me, the security at the airport. And of course, I'm sure they have all learned their lesson and to prevent future occurrences. So let's see where it takes us. And I hope somebody will not do it next time and say, if I can have somebody there, I'm sure I'm going to be pardoned. I'll get a pardon.
That is why we're asking the question, about the signal. What signal has this sent?
And of course, we can also talk about...
And of course, the international community too will be looking at the whole thing, that we are not handling stuff. And I read a report that said that Nigerian aviation is one of the respected aviation in the world. But doing this now, it also calls for questioning to reduce our standard.
And I was just going to, add to part of the conversation, the concern coming through from, those who are reacting to it, particularly online, that even though the charges have been dropped on both sides and, the federal government intervention is quite telling on a lot of levels, what about the treatment meted out on Ms. Comfort Emerson? Recall that the pilots of ValueJet got their own fair share, and in fact, even though the licenses have been withdrawn, have been restored until they complete, the necessary reappraisal. But the staff of Ibom Air, many are saying that they also deserve some form of punishment. What are your thoughts on that? Because of the treatment meted out on Ms. Comfort Emerson, which borders on abuse of human rights? Yes,
because the government intervened, the federal government intervened, so it did not allow, you remember the NBA too, they came up that we're going to defend and all of that. I'm sure those are the things that will have brought to bear, but because they were not mentioned, no sanction for them, no pardon for them. So since there was no sanction for them, so there's no need to talk about maybe restoring them, but since they've said they will all go for appraisal, training and retraining, just like I was saying, even in our education sector, I don't know when some of our lecturers have gone for or retraining a kind of a thing. So let's just leave it, since the federal government have intervened and they've all brought everybody back to the table.
At the end of the day, I think the least that can be done by Ibom Air, whether they are the ones that release that video or not, is to publicly apologize to that lady. Because what was filmed was an action that was taken on their aircraft. So if an action, of course, they were trying to get her out for her misconduct. Nobody supports that kind of behavior, no matter how you were provoked. But the way they pulled her out and finally got her exposed, and it was now all over the place. The least that airline, which is a pride of Kwam-1 and Nigeria by extension, should do is not private apology. So publicly apologize to this girl, because now a life ban has been lifted, her dignity is in ruins. Nobody can take what is all over the place. Some people have saved it on their phone.
In Nigeria, they say whoever goes to the police station will get justice first. Whoever goes to the police station first might get justice. Because immediately it happened, Ibom here went to press charges and all of that. So it's just... but I felt that they should apologize.
In the spirit of this resolution, they should publicly apologize to her for that indecency. Adeni Ifeta, thank you so much for coming on the program. We always appreciate your insight on this conversation, helping us to look at the headlines. But hey, we are just getting started. Our first conversation will be with the lawyer to Ms. Comfort Emerson. We were thinking we would get Ms. Comfort, but apparently she's not in a good place psychologically to join us. So our lawyer is here to give us our own side of the story. I said, we've heard everybody. We've not heard from Comfort. She says she will speak out later, but for now, our lawyer will speak on her behalf. And after the lawyer, we'll be joined by a passenger who was sitting right around that row, who witnessed firsthand. He will tell us what he knows. We can speak about it because cases have now been withdrawn, so it's not prejudiced anymore. Join us again.